this video, I'm going to be drawing in my sketchbook using acrylic markers like usual. For this first drawing, I'm drawing Claire Redfield. It's kind of a mix of her Resident Evil 2 design and her Code Veronica remake design. I used the Resident Evil 2 face model as a reference, and then her outfit is more like Code Veronica. There is this artist on YouTube that I love watching their videos so much. Their username is Lolly37, and I've been watching a lot of their videos, and I've noticed that they always use this technique of they would sketch with graphite first, but then they would lightly erase the graphite and then go on top with a smoother, but not like line art level of smooth, with colored pencil. And I decided I wanted to try that out because I feel like with graphite it can really show through sometimes through the ink, no matter how many times you lay down layers of paint, and sometimes it will smudge and get the color all gray and desaturated, and it looks really bad. And while I was a little nervous that I would ruin a good sketch because I did really like how this sketch turned out, I did it anyway, and I really like how this drawing turned out, and it made the process so much smoother. Sometimes my details would get lost in the just the amount of lines, because I'm not super smooth with sketching. Like, I'm not a very clean sketcher, I should say. That's the better word for it. But yeah, because of this, it made it so much easier, and if a color were to bleed together, it would be a color that actually matches that area. So it made things so much faster and so much more fun. So yep, I am really happy with how this drawing turned out. I think I was able to capture Claire's likeness pretty well, and I really like how the hair turned out especially. This is a small detail I really love about Claire's design, is that she has, I don't remember exactly what it's called, but eyeliner all around the eye, like pencil eyeliner. I think it suits her character so much, and I think it's so cute, and I really like the detail that you can tell that it's not fresh. Like, it's definitely been there a while. I also saw this mod recently for Resident Evil 9 where literally the only thing they changed was that they gave Leon eyeliner, and I actually really like it. I don't think that eyeliner would look particularly good on any other Leon design, but in Resident Evil 9, he already is so fine, but I like the little detail of the eyeliner in it. Anyway, talking about Resident Evil, I have recently started playing Resident Evil 4. I started a few days ago, and so far it's been really good. I was a little taken aback because I guess I was expecting the controls and kind of overall layout to be basically the same as Resident Evil 2 remake, but it wasn't. It's really close though, so it didn't take long for me to get used to it, but I did keep pressing the wrong buttons for so long. And also, I'm going to ramble about something real quick. There has been only one problem so far, and I don't know what it is. I can't fix it for the life of me. In the game, everything sounds great. The environment, the steps, the gunshots, everything, until it comes to like the voices, like the dialogue and stuff, even the zombies like grunts and stuff, it all sounds so muffled. Like, it sounds like they recorded it on a really bad microphone and left it at that, which I know they didn't do, of course, but I don't know how to fix it. It's only the dialogue, and there's literally nothing that comes up when I search about it, and at this point I think I'm just gonna have to deal with it. I've restarted my PlayStation 5, I've inserted the disc in and out, and played with all the settings on the audio in-game and on the PlayStation 5 settings, so I really have no idea. And this is the weirdest part. It's only when I connect my headphones to the controller. Like, in my headphones, it sounds weird. But if I disconnect it and it plays from my speaker from the TV, then everything sounds perfectly normal. So I really don't know what's going on. But the thing is, I can't really play without headphones because I know that all the gunshots are gonna get on my family's nerves. So I don't want to do that to them. So I'm just gonna deal with the crappy audio. It's not like horrible, but it is really bad. I don't know how well Sony replies to customer support or anything, but I guess it's like worth a shot. But yeah, you know, it's really bad when Reddit doesn't have anything, because it feels like Reddit has every single thing ever, but they literally had nothing. And sometimes I would see like someone have the same issue as me, and there would be no one knowing how to fix it, so I might just be cooked. But anyway, enough of complaining. That aside, I finished Silent Hill 2 Remake, and it was really good. I beat it in a little over a week, which is the fastest I've ever beat any game ever. I really enjoyed the game, and I thought everything was so good. It was so pretty and beautiful, but at the same time so sad, which is exactly what I like. And it didn't really feel like a nightmare, but more like an unsettling dream. But I feel like most of the time, a lot of people compare it to a nightmare, which I feel like Silent Hill 1 definitely felt like a nightmare, but this one felt more like a unsettling dream, like I said. But I am playing the remake. I don't know if the original is more like a nightmare or anything, so everything I say here is strictly for the remake. I haven't played the original yet, but I really want to, and honestly, I think it looks better than the original visually. I think that the remake definitely lost a lot of its kind of grittiness and like that kind of rusty look, which I really liked. And I feel like they got close, but they just didn't push it far enough. I love all the characters except Eddie, but I really enjoyed the writing on Eddie even still. I think that all the characters' writing was so good, and while I do love slandering James, I do think he was really well written, and I think he's probably the most complex character I've ever seen. I will never get tired of hearing about discussions about James on whether they think what he did was somewhat justifiable and that under normal circumstances he would never suffocate his wife with a pillow. That you just have to take a whole bunch of things into account, but of course, like, not saying that it was okay to any degree that he did that, or that they think he's absolutely deranged. And I honestly am definitely more in the mindset that nothing can excuse killing your wife, even if she was sick for years and you were the main caretaker of her and she was begging to be killed. Like, I don't care. Like, she's not in the right mindset to say that, and you don't get to kill someone anyways. But anyway, I really love hearing about people's analysis on every character and all the small details and everything. It's so good. I also do prefer the OST of the original way more. I feel like the original has so much more life to it, and it sounds more creepy, and it feels like the remake OST, it does sound creepy, but it does feel a little more not super creepy. but more, how do I say this? Like more ambience. My favorite area was definitely the hospital, I'd say. I really love the aesthetic of hospitals in general, and especially when it's like all abandoned and creepy, and I love the bubblehead nurses. I mean, who doesn't? And I also really loved the prison and the labyrinth, but the labyrinth and the prison were so scary. Like, the first part of the game was like not super scary, but then the final, I would say 30% was so scary. I was getting nightmares over it, and also playing right before bed probably doesn't help. But the prison, I'll start with the prison. It was so scary. Everything was almost pitch black, not so black that you couldn't see around, but there were so many monsters, and the music was so bad, and like not bad, but like so scary. And the scariest parts in the prison, for one, was the death chamber. Like, just thinking about all the stuff that had gone on in there, and I personally think that James belongs in there, like, and to think that, like, that place doesn't really exist, in my opinion. I believe that James' psyche made it up and Silent Hill manifested it, and it's what James believes he deserves, which I agree. So yeah, the death chamber thing was really unsettling, and then the outdoors area, I don't know what it's called exactly, but it's where you do the weight scales so you can access different locked doors. That was so scary at first because I never heard anybody talk about it. I had no idea what to expect, and so it was pitch black except for the scales, and it constantly sounded like this huge monster was going to jump up behind me, but there was nothing there. But I didn't know that, so it was so scary. And another part was this jump scare, which something I really like about Silent Hill is that they never really rely on jump scares. Like, they only really ever use like one or two in their entire game, and everything else is purely vibes. But when they do have a jump scare, they get you really, really bad. And this one was the worst jump scare ever. I was just collecting stuff in the prison, just traveling, and if I remember right, it was after I beat a bunch of enemies, so I was like, okay, time to just explore and get out of here. And I saw a health drink in one of the bathrooms, so I picked it up, and there was just this awful scream, and like, I had headphones on, so it just made it like so much scary. Like, I just wasn't expecting it at all, and so it scared me so bad that I couldn't breathe for a second. It was that bad. But yeah, oh goodness. And if I might add a clip, but it probably won't seem that scary in the actual clip that I'm showing, because you're not actually playing the game in everything and you know to expect it. But in the actual game, it was so scary. And the labyrinth was honestly so stressful. It was honestly more stressful than it was scary, but there was some parts where it was really scary. And as much as I love Pyramid Head, I would go insane when he would actually appear. But yeah, that's it for Silent Hill 2 ramblings. The second drawing has started and I haven't even mentioned it, so I'll get to that. This is supposed to be Lisa Garland from Silent Hill 1, but it really doesn't look like her because, to be honest, she's not like super unique. unless she has her signature nurse outfit, because I mean she does have blonde hair and green eyes, and that's kind of it. But it is supposed to be Lisa Garland in a cute little dress. I actually recently have been making Pinterest boards of my favorite characters, so I like to fill it with, of course, outfits and aesthetic pictures that I think would match them, or memes or texts that I think would be relatable to them, or kind of like a dynamic with different characters. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. I have one for Infinite, of course, Lisa, Harry Mason, Maria, Ada Wong, and Rouge. I would like to make one for Leon Kennedy, but I am going to be so honest, I don't know really what I would put in there. I feel like he doesn't have a very strong aesthetic, so I don't know. I feel like it always heavily switches depending on the game he's in, so yeah, but there's definitely gotta be so many boards of what I'm thinking, so I could probably use that as a jumping off point. And that as well, I also have that kind of Pinterest board for every single one of my OCs and my persona. So yeah, and I also have one of basically for myself. So yeah, I love Pinterest so much. I use it for so many things. So since I'm drawing Lisa, I'm gonna talk about what I think her aesthetic would be. I think it would be very coquette, not corporate coquette where they just slap a pink bow on it, but actual like retro red coquette with lace and one tasteful bow and like Coca-Cola kind of design with print like on her dress. I think that is so her. I also made one, like I said, of Harry Mason, which is literally her boyfriend, guys. Trust me. In another life, they are happily married and she becomes Cheryl's mother. But yeah, I just love them so much, and seeing both of them makes me so happy. I think that their aesthetics go together really well. But I think Harry Mason, there's not really a aesthetic quote core for it, which I'm one of those people who I'm like, not everything needs a label for a style, just wear what you want. Although I will say it does make it easier to talk about, but I feel like he would have there's lots of browns, and it's not like, so for Harry Mason, it's hard to put words to it exactly, because it's not like, as far as I know, there's this core for it, which I'm one of those people who I get annoyed when people just slap core onto everything. But anyway, I think it's not exactly cowboy, but kind of somewhat southern, very cafe vibes, and it's like coffee and leather jackets. Like, I think that is literally him, and like I said, it just looks so cute to what I imagine Lisa would wear, and I love them so much. Okay, that out of my system, I really wanted to share it, but that out of my system, I am going to go back to the drawing because I have a few more things to say. So, I had a hard time with the anatomy, specifically that arm she has behind her head. I don't know why, but it was just such a struggle for me to connect it, like her shoulder to the torso, in a way that looked right. And I'm still not very happy with it, but I got tired of redoing it over and over, so what's done is done. And I tried adding blue to this shading, like sometimes how I do in digital art. So yeah, I do actually really like how it looks, and I want to do it more. I tried smudging it out with my finger, which sometimes works, but in this case, not so much. I think it looks fine in the end, but there's gotta be a more efficient way of doing that. So yep, this is the end of the video. I talked a lot, and hopefully it wasn't like too hard to understand. It probably was hard to understand if you're not in the same fandoms, but it's okay. I hope you liked listening anyways. And yeah, I'll see you next week. Bye-bye!